Hi everybody, Vegas Film Critic here, Jeffrey K. Howard, here to wish you a happy Star Wars 40th anniversary. May 25th, 40 years ago, the movie that changed Hollywood, that's changed the summer movie-going season, that changed the world, came out 40 years ago today. And I thought I'd get on here on YouTube and give my experiences, because I was there, okay? I'm one of the Gen X guys that was absolutely there. But there's a great story on how I saw Star Wars. So go back to the summer of '77, and back in the mid '70s, there was all this paranormal stuff going on. I don't know if people my age would remember that. So you have Uri Geller that could bend spoons, and you have In Search Of TV series. They did Psychic Phenomenon and all those kind of things, and it was really big. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Loch Ness Monster, with Bigfoot, with the Yeti, with all of that stuff, and I was also obsessed with the Schick Sun classic movies. The Lincoln Conspiracy, the Bermuda Triangle, and also one called Mysterious Monsters. But any kind of movie with Bigfoot, I was a Bigfoot fanatic. And you're probably saying, Jeff, what's this got to do with Star Wars? I'm getting there. So I was obsessed with Bigfoot. And when they started showing the commercials for Star Wars, all I could remember was seeing Chewbacca in the cockpit and thinking that was Bigfoot. So every time that came on, I'm 11 years old, remember now. So every time that commercial came on, I was like covering up my face because I didn't want to see Bigfoot. I was just scared to death about Bigfoot. And there was a movie called Mysterious Monsters from Sun Classics that I remember seeing in the very same theater that that Star Wars was playing at, and the theater was empty, and I would get up and I sit next to like a middle-aged couple, and they think I'm out of my mind because the theater's practically empty and I'm sitting next to this couple because I'm terrified of Bigfoot on the big screen. So everyone started talking about Star Wars. All my friends started talking about Star Wars, and I thought, first of all, it looks really stupid. Second of all, it's got Bigfoot in it. I ain't gonna see it. So now fast forward maybe a month into its release, and I'm at the Parkway Theater in Las Vegas here, which is now long gone. But the Parkway Theater was showing Star Wars, and next door to it, I think I was seeing The World's Greatest Lover. That's what it was. I was seeing The World's Greatest Lover with Gene Wilder, and back then I would take in my dad's Bell and Howell tape recorder. So I would go in there and I would record the movie and then go home and listen to the movie over and over and over. I know I was a weird kid. So I'm waiting for Mom to pick me up. I watched the movie 3 or 4 times. I watched movies back then. They let you stay. I watched it all the time. So now I'm waiting for my mom, and I remember this as vividly. I remember this like it's a flashbulb memory. I'm sitting there. The sun is down. It's like a 7 o'clock at night. I've been there all day. It had to be a Saturday or something like that. And I'm saying to myself, I look over in the big theater, they had 3 screens, the big one and 2 little medium ones, and the big one, and there it was on the marquee, it said Star Wars. And I remember saying to myself, well, let me check this out and see what all the craziness is about. So I walk inside there, I open the door, and I walk inside the theater, and just as Vader was picking up that soldier at the beginning of the film, and crushes his throat and throws him against the wall, and if you had a camera on me, I was just like, and I remember like reaching for the chair and sitting down and just being, holy God. And then of course they got in the escape pod, and Princess Leia gets stunned and tell them we got one, and then they get in the escape pod and all that, and the robots. At first I couldn't even process what was going on because science fiction to an 11-year-old, I was just like, what is going on here? But I mean, I was sucked in immediately seeing Darth Vader crush that guy's throat. So I came back every day and saw that movie 3 or 4 times, to the point where my mom forbid me. My family, my mom and dad said, you are not seeing that movie anymore, because I was approaching maybe 100 times seeing this movie. And I lived at a particular part of town. This is the east side back then. It was called Boulder Highway back in the 70s. So one time she forbid me to see it one afternoon, and I said, I'm going to go see Star Wars. And she goes, no, you're not. You're not going to that. Of course she had to take me, right? Well, I knew how to get there. So because it was 2 streets to get there. So here's a kid in the middle of summer, triple digits, temperatures here in Las Vegas. And I just Googled it because I never did. I walked 7 miles one way to go see Star Wars. And I remember as a kid thinking, where is Maryland Parkway? That was the street it was on, because I knew the 2 streets. I kept going and going and going, saying to myself, did I make a mistake? What's going on here? I mean, what did I do? But I finally got there, watched the movie a couple of times, and I do the typical thing, Mom, can you come pick me up? You're not that damn movie, are you? And she picked me up, and she was upset and all that. So anyway, that's my story of seeing Star Wars 40 years ago. And I got to be friends, because I always saw movies all the time. I got to be friends with the people that worked at the theater and the managers and all that. I saw this movie so many times. The manager of the theater gave this to me, and I have this 40 years later. Check this out. This is my original poster for Star Wars. Now, of course, over the years, when I was a kid, I tacked it up on the wall, I displayed it, everything like that, because, who cares about condition and all that? This was my poster, right? So there's tears and there's pinholes in it over the years, but here is my poster, my original Star Wars poster. And of course, there's a little water damage at the bottom there, or on the right there, on the right hand side, but this is my original poster for 40 years. And I just went in the garage and I dug this out, and it's real sentimental, you know, because it's got rips and pinholes, but this thing saw a lot of use, and I just love that thing to death. Oh, and the other thing that's cool, also for Christmas, the summer of 1977, I got my Star Wars Darth Vader helmet. And this says Don Post Studios on the inside here. And I've had this for 40 years. I mean, this is blowing my mind, right? And of course, I met David Prowse here a few years ago here at the Alexis Hotel doing an autograph show. And he wrote, of course, can you see it? Ah, can't do this. There it is. To Jeff, David Prowse, Darth Vader. How cool is that? So I've had this. I did Halloweens as a little kid going as Darth Vader. Really cool stuff. So I think I'll just hold on to Darth here. So I can't believe it's been 40 years, and I got Empire stories about seeing that. I got Jedi stories of seeing that. I'm an original Star Wars guy, but I don't call it Episode 4, 5, and 6. You can't, but it's not Star Wars: A New Hope. I don't care what your marketing people say at Disney and Lucasfilm. It's Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi. So when you talk to me about Star Wars, specifically, I know what you're talking about. Don't call it A New Hope. I hate that. And I hate when people refer them to numbers, too. Say the title, okay? I don't know. Maybe it just bugs me. 40 years ago today. Now, I didn't see Star Wars 40 years ago today. It was a couple weeks until I got on the bandwagon. So anyway, thank you so much, George Lucas, for giving me the most incredible summer I've ever had. Summer of 77. We also had Close Encounters that summer too. So we had a lot of great movies. One of the great movies summers of all time. And I love it. I got more stories about Star Wars too, but they're all home video stuff. But anyway, I'm Jeffrey K. Howard, Vegas Film Critic. Thanks so much for joining me on the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, if I can say it. Also, check out for more reviews and interviews on my website at vegasfilmcritic.com. Huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a cooler shirt, but I couldn't find it. What, Vader? Oh, yeah, that's right. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe below. Give me your Star Wars memories. Thumbs up and share. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas. Thanks so much for joining me. May the Force be with you.